getting over a huge amount of fear about singing. And so I'm just curious, like, how many of us do currently or have ever felt afraid of using their voice, of singing, of being heard in any way? It's probably everyone. So thanks for all being here. We're all here together doing the same work. If you can turn me up at all safely, that would be nice.
Good, yeah.
Oh, he went. Okay, cool. Oh, if you can turn me up at all, that'd be nice. So part of what we're doing here is practicing trusting ourselves. That's the biggest piece of what's going on here. Is how can we just trust ourselves? How can we just use this next hour to just trust ourselves a little bit more, or a lot more? This whole practice of singing and being, it's a big deal. It's a little deal in that we're just making sound here and we're playing for the next hour and a half, and it's a really big deal because it's also our voice, our soul, going out into the world and us showing ourselves, which is a really big deal, and it's scary. And that's the beauty of it, is that it's not meant to be easy. It's the whole journey. The whole point of being human is that we get to learn how to be ourselves totally and beautifully and fully. And so we're practicing that here. That's what this is. That's what this workshop is. So, and we're doing it through voice. We're doing it through our song and just seeing how we can listen better, how we can trust what wants to come through. And so I've never done this workshop with other sound happening. So this is all a new experience for me. And what I do when I show up at this workshop is I'm just listening. I'm practicing listening and just seeing what wants to happen for us all here. And so I'm really excited because this is going to be really different than anything I've ever done before. So, and for all of you guys out here, you're going to hear a lot better the closer you get to these speakers and the farther you get from that stage. So if you feel like, if you're having trouble hearing, you can just come over here. There's lots of room. All right, let's start there. Let's start where they're at. So actually, let's start with our bodies. Let's start with breathing. Because we probably all come from a lot of different places. Some of us might sing in the shower. Some of us might sing for other people. Some of us might be terrified of all of that. So there's a whole spectrum. Some of us might even have performed or sing on stage regularly, or I don't know, the spectrum that's here. I'm just guessing there's a spectrum. And so let's start with just taking a really deep breath in. And now when you take a deep breath in, this is an interesting breathing technique I just learned. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually push out your perineum when you breathe in. It's almost like you're filling yourself with so much air that it pushes out your perineum. Your perineum is like right there. And then when you breathe out, you're pushing it up. You're pulling up. Kind of like womb breathing. You know, men can have wombs too. So it's like breathing in that really deep, deep root, the root of us. It's deeper than diaphragm breathing. It gives us a lot more air to give our voice out with. So now let's do one more breath in and out, pushing up and we go out. And now when we breathe in and push down, we're going to breathe out with sound. And you're slowly letting it rise. We're breathing in again, pushing down. Breathing out, pulling up slowly. It's a thing to practice with, but you may already feel it, or you may, as you start to practice that more, but you'll feel a lot more air available. Like your note can go a lot longer. And so just once again, because it's a little confusing, you're pushing down your perineum when you breathe in. Like you're filling up with air so much that it pushes your perineum down. And then pushing, and then when you breathe out, you're slowly, like carefully pushing the air out. You're not pushing it out all at once. You're slowly just giving it. You're slowly giving it, releasing it. Let's actually go with the note. Let's see. Let's go with them. So let's do it one more time. And this time, I invite you to find any harmony. So we're going to do this note. So let's all breathe in. They're gonna want us on stage soon here. Who here is familiar with harmony? With the idea of like, cool. And who here can find harmony? Who here feels like confident that they can like find a harmony where it goes? Cool. And then for anyone who's not familiar with harmony, it's the idea of putting your voice. I don't have by the way, my background as a musician, I perform, this is my job, is writing music, performing music, coming here, giving shows, and I've never had technical training in music, in voice, in guitar. I just learned from people. I learned from everyone around me, and I just sang. I just started singing, really scared. I was really, really scared. For the whole first 2 years of singing, they had to turn the mic up full volume, because on stage, I would be like, I was so nervous about my own voice. And so just for some context, that's where I've come from. And so I don't have technical language to describe a lot of this stuff, which I think is better. But harmony, in my sense, is you're finding the resonant notes that go with that one note that you've already established. So, those all played them at the same time, it would be a chord. And so that's what we're doing. And if you want to just play with it, what you can do is actually roll your voice. And we'll do that right now. We'll play with that. And rolling your voice is when you hit every single note in between two notes. So instead of going, oh, huh, like I jumped, you go, oh, oh. So let's try going from really low to really high, and you don't have to match me, you can just do it at your own pace. So we're gonna breathe in deep. And then let's go high to low. A really good singing technique that I'll just share because I learned it recently, it's helped me so much for projection, is so that you don't strain your throat. It can help to use your nose. The nose is a resonant chamber, and so what that means is that if you send sound through your nose instead of directly through your throat, that you're putting a lot less stress here. So let's do that same kind of like rolling thing we did, and just imagine sending it through your nose. And you can even get kind of exaggerated and be like, eh. But I'll do it, and it's gonna sound like this. We'll do it all together. Because then you're taking all that pressure off yourself to like be some amazing thing, and then you get to be yourself.
and yourself is an amazing thing. And so the more you just like let that be, then amazingness comes out, but you're not trying, you know, it's like, it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying this is easy at all. I'm talking about it like, oh, just do this, and then you got it set, and that's, you know, it's work. That's what our lives are, so it's the good work. Yeah. So you guys want to sing some more? Yeah, oh yeah, one more question. Oh yeah, cool. The question is, what do you do when you're performing and you suddenly feel self-conscious? And I could, like, performing could be, you know, me on a stage in front of a lot of people, or it could be like you guys sitting here with someone listening, with one person listening to you, right? It could be anything. But what do you do when you feel self-conscious? I get really present. I get really, I try and get as present with that, with what I'm feeling in that moment as possible. So what I do on stage, and I'll be probably doing tonight at some point for my solo set, is I make up something. I use the loop pedal and I'll just make something up for everyone on stage. And sometimes I'll suddenly get stuck and I might feel self-conscious. And the best thing I can do is somehow find words for the self-consciousness and find words for the stuckness, and weave that into the song, and it immediately opens it up again, you know? It's almost like if I have an agenda, like the creative muses have gotten really good with me. They basically take out my voice if I start to not get present. They like make me like cough and stuff, and it's just a funny thing. What? The trickster archetype. Totally, yeah, and I kind of appreciate it now. I'll be on stage and I'll be like, oh yeah, I was trying to make something profound. You know, I'll be like, ooh, okay, I gotta get real again. I gotta like sing about my humility, or sing about like how my, like oftentimes I'll be like, sometimes you just lose your voice and you don't know where to go and your voice gets caught, and that's okay sometimes, you know, and I'll just like sing that is, you know, what's going on. And it helps. It usually, it's like spirit just is like trying to help us get really present with ourselves and really real with ourselves, and not have so much of an agenda about what we're trying to do or being this thing or that thing, and just yeah.
I have a quick one.
Yeah.
Do you usually improvise live on stage? Is
Yeah.
that how you like to perform?
Well, most of the stuff I do is songs that I've composed and are on records and everything, and I'll be doing most of my new album. I just released an album. It's called Hollow Bone. And I brought a few. There's physical copies now, and I brought a few if you're interested. I'm going to be performing most of, like, a lot of that album tonight for my solo set, and some older songs. But then I don't know, I just love to do one song usually that's improv, or I have a song on the album that it always wants to be partially improv, and if not all. And so it's fun. Yeah, I enjoy it, and it's a good practice. It's a good practice for me to like work my listening muscle, and also to stay humble on stage, because it's like, that's my edge, you know. I'm talking to all of you about, you know, let's do this practice and lean into your edge. That's my edge at this point, is like, how do I do all these things while being in front of like however many 100 people, 2, 5, whatever it might be. So
Talk about the healing power of sound.
yeah, and that's actually a great segue into, yeah, let's do that next. She asked about the healing power of sound. Something that I've come to understand through my own experience with healing with sound is that we are completely in charge of our own healing. Totally, completely. And if we choose to take that, we can use sound as a healing tool for ourselves, and no one needs to tell us how to do that. We just have to like listen to our own body. I've done some work with different people who've had really intense health issues, and they've worked through a lot of it through sound, and a lot of it is one simple thing is to listen to if you have like an ache or some condition or something going on in your body, in your physical body, to sing to it, to sing to, just into it, just listen. It's that listening. It's like, don't think about it, just listen to that part of your body and see what it wants, and give it that, and just give it that sound, give it those sounds. Or you can also let it give sound. There's the other way of like, what are you doing? And you just get to be the vehicle. You're not trying to do anything. You're just being like, oh, back, what do you have to sing through me? You know, and just see what it's trying to tell you, and you can gain something, and you can go back and forth with that. Sing to it, sing it, let it sing you. Yeah. But yeah, I pretty much believe that we all can do any healing work we want to, completely intuitively, if we listen to ourselves and trust ourselves in that way. We're completely capable of that. It's just it's the trust, you know. It's the trust and the listening. We just have to practice it. So let's do some of it. Because also the other piece of healing is, that's the healing ourselves, healing our physical, emotional, mental bodies, and working with ourselves. And then the other piece is, how do we heal others or the planet? How do we help with the big healing of the big I, the big we, the big one that we're all doing together? And that's where this comes in. And thank you for taking a sound break right now, because we're going to do this together. Song, voice is a powerful prayer. It's a vibration, and we're sending it out. And so every vibration we make with our voice is sent out. And so right now, what we're going to do is we're all going to join voices, and you're going to listen for your piece. Each of you holds a piece, and each of you gets to listen to each other's piece. And harmonize with each other, and see how much we can like be together to make a big one sound, and to send it out to every person around us here in this valley, and send it out to every creature, every insect, every animal. Send it out to the roots of the trees, send it to the snow, send it to the earth, send it to every piece. Whatever your piece is and where you want to send it, just trust that. Trust where you want to send it, and together we're going to send out a big prayer right now. A big love prayer. A big thank you. conscious. You can use words if you want to. You can use sounds if you want to. Send it to any being you want to. Send it wherever you want to. Send it wherever it guides you.